Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. So, I was really wondering, what do I come out here and talk to you about? Do I infuse you with a sense of ambition to make our country a better place? Do I make you passionate about going out there and, well, combating climate change on a daily basis? Or do I infuse you with the courage to go up to that girl or guy you've always wanted to and finally introduce yourself? Well, it's kind of the dilemma that I go through every single morning when I walk into my studios. I walk in and tell people about different things by pulling my mic faders up, and I make them feel different things by the various things that I have to say. My bread and butter is being one of the youngest morning show radio hosts of my time that I know of. That's a disclaimer there. On 94.3 Radio 1. I also, I'm part of two improv groups, Just Improvise and The Improv. I'm an actor, I'm an MC, I'm a host, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor. As you can clearly see, I have commitment issues. It's pretty much just like you guys when you decide to order food online, or you decide to swipe left or right on Tinder, or you decide whether you want to take an Uber Go or an Uber Pool based on the price that it is. But that is the very emotion of our time. It is confusion. It is the dissatisfaction with what you have and the want and the need for what everybody else does. And that led me to think, so what is my talk to you about really today? Well, it's plain and simple. Are you really living here and now, or are you merely just existing? Well, there's two secrets to really making your profession and life happen on a daily basis, in fact. And the first of those, I believe, is passion. Now, trust me, passion is very, very hard to come by, and it's very difficult to find. But when you, like me, wake up in the morning, dying and itching to go to your job, you will know that you have found it. And very often I find that people out there, a lot of you I think will relate to this, want to reach the end goal of their career barely before they've taken the first step. That impatience, that real urge to reach the end goal, I've realized that nothing really comes without patience. Patience is key, and patience, well, takes time. Patience gives you what you are passionate about, if not now, eventually. So it's going to take some time, so don't let the wait wear you down. When I was 8 years old, I was very passionate about becoming an astronaut. This is the part where you laugh, because clearly. It was mostly after watching Toy Story, to be honest. It really was. But then something happened. I think they call it life. And I realized that I absolutely sucked at math and science. And apparently those were important for becoming an astronaut. And this is going to blow your mind. Being from a family where both my parents are doctors, didn't really look good. So I course-corrected. And I've always been the type to love theater. I've always been the type to love performing on stage, singing, and the likes of the same. And I did all of that when I did my undergraduation in media studies, English, and psychology. And as part of your second year, it is compulsory to sort of do an internship in a broadcast media firm. And to my luck, I did it in the same place that I work right now, and that is 94.3 Radio 1. I was that horrible intern that everybody hated. I'll tell you why. Because I used to come in at 7 in the morning, and I used to leave at 10 in the night. Not because anybody asked me to, but because I genuinely loved the work. I really did. And till this date, I am still a workaholic. So I did that, completed the internship. I stayed in touch with the people there. And I finished my undergraduation, and then I was wondering, what do I do now? Well, like most millennials of the time, I decided to buy myself some more time. So I did my post-graduation. I decided to do my post-graduation in things that I loved most at the time, and that was film and photography. So I went to Xavier's College in Mumbai, St. Xavier's in Mumbai, and I did my post-graduation in film, television, and digital video production. Mumbai was a magical, magical city for me. It opened my eyes to a different level of professionalism, of talent, of hard work, and slowly I started to realize that even though I was pretty damn good behind the camera, I realized that I loved the spotlight in front of the camera. How? Well, Mumbai has a lot of fun things that you can do, and one of them that I used to indulge in quite a bit was stand-up comedy open mics. So I went up, I told jokes. I was pretty decent at it, or so I think. And at the end of my course, my post-graduation, I got a call from the place I interned at, that I told you about, 94.3 Radio 1. And they offered me a job, and I just said yes, I took it up. And no, I wasn't always a radio presenter. I started from the bottom, and this is where I'd like to introduce you to the second thing that you really need to make your profession and life happen. And that, I believe, is hard work. I started as something called a digital producer. This is the part where you guys say, ooh. I'm waiting. Yeah. Sounds fancy, right? It's really not. It's not, because I was probably one level over the housekeeping staff. Okay, I exaggerate, but I was basically the person who handled Facebook uploads. And I worked my butt off. I slowly started filling in for jocks when they were on leave. I started doing a Sunday show. And after many, many, many different things, after many crazy things, I might say, I finally reached where I am today. And I'd like to say that I pretty much rule the airwaves when I'm on air, and nobody comes close to what I do. And the truth is, I am showing off, but I believe in myself more than anybody else does. And I think that today, that is something that you need to do too. How do you convert your life into something extraordinary? Passion, that I told you about, hard work, belief in yourself. But there's one more thing that you will probably never see coming. And it'll come out of nowhere, and it'll slap you in the face. And that is luck. Denzel Washington said, and I quote, "Luck is where opportunity meets preparation," unquote. I've always been the type to go where life takes me. I've never had a plan. And that's because I'm with you now, here in this moment. And I haven't planned for the distant future, not because I'm stupid, for the most part. But it's because I'm too busy living every single minute to the absolute fullest. And whether I'm on my show, whether I'm hosting an event, whether I'm doing improv comedy for a captive audience, or whether I'm mentoring a child for their future, I'm right there, I'm right here, and right now, if that makes sense. There is something very, very liberating I've found about living your life one moment at a time. Taking things as they come, going where life takes you, is a wish and a hope that I have so very strongly for this very confused generation. Wow, I sound old. I was lucky to have parents who never ever forced me into any career. My dad told me that if I wanted to be a carpenter, I was absolutely fine. But he told me to be damn sure that I was the best carpenter out there. Thank God I didn't become a carpenter. This brings me to my next point. Whatever you do, give it your 100%. Because when you look back, you should never have that feeling like, I could have done that a little better. Life doesn't give you second chances, so why should you give life anything other than 100%? Now getting back to what I do, would you like to know the worst thing about being a radio jockey? Well, everyone thinks that they can do your job better than you can. It's true. Everyone is an expert in music, everybody's an expert in content, and everything else that you do. And once you go into your job, be prepared for the most beautiful thing that this world has to offer: feedback. Yeah. But hey, I'm a little cuckoo. I take the feedback and do whatever I want anyway. In my particular field, the biggest misconception is the fact that I walk into the studios every single morning, pull up the fader, and say whatever the hell I want. I think that's the biggest misconception, because there is a whole day of prep that goes into the 5 hours that I put on air. What I'm trying to say is, nothing in life comes easy. To be the best, prepare yourself to be the best. And never think that you can just wing it. Prepare yourself and then wing it in the direction that life takes you. Because if you resist that tide of your career, it is something that will definitely make or break you. I'm fortunate to be in contact and interview some of the biggest international stars, some of the biggest sportsmen and sportswomen of our time, and some of the just coolest people on the planet. But that's right, from Mike Posner to Diana King to Chris Daughtry to your Australian Master Chefs to your IPL players and so many more. But the truth is, life has been kind. And yes, the job is cool, but I had to start somewhere, like everybody. So, where do you start? You out there, you listening to this right now. Well, my advice is for those of you just about starting out, do everything that comes your way. Take up every single opportunity, never say no, and for the first 5 years of your career, brace yourself, do not run after money. I'm just wondering whether I should wait before you pick your jaws off the floor, or some people are like, oh, what is this guy saying? No money? Well, I believe that money will eventually come. I do believe that the money will eventually come. And if money is your go-to, right in the beginning, trust me, there is no amount of money in this world that will satisfy your need or greed. Work for experience, work for learning, work for you. But what is also crucial in a time where you just about start off is having a great boss. Someone who pushes you, someone who motivates you to be the best version of yourself. And I was fortunate enough to have 2 such mentors. So getting back to the money, because everybody's eyes look a little green right now. Where does the money come from? The truth is, I don't know. I don't, and I don't think I ever will. But believe me when I say that with a combination of passion, hard work, luck, and belief in yourself, the money will pour in. And when it does, you shouldn't care. Because you will be doing what you love. And that's all that matters. Now, as much as your internal environment is sorted, you need to get your external environment sorted too. Make sure that you work with people who are like-minded, people who are passionate about life and about work the same way you are. They will really push you and take you to that next level when all else fails and you need a helping hand. What are the obstacles that you're going to face? Well, people telling you that you're not good enough. You're going to be undervalued, you're going to be underpaid, you're going to be overworked, you're going to be not given your money's worth. And here's the worst thing of all, if you work in an office and the office canteen sucks, that's the worst. But hey, I'm a firm believer that out of the fire comes some real gold. Lastly, what is that unique thing that you bring to the table? Well, you've got to find that for yourself. I'm not sure about you, but for me, I believe that whether I'm doing my radio show, whether I'm hosting an event, whether I'm on stage doing improv, I believe that what I bring to the table is positivity, energy, good vibes, and just, well, nothing else. I am an eternal optimist. I always see the good in people, and I believe that the best is truly yet to come. In simple words, happiness is my currency, and I'm the bank, baby. I want to leave you with one last thing before I sign off. And this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to say. Remember that there is no one else like you. You are the master of your own story. So make sure that you write a fantastic one with a great character and a superb ending. Because there never was a story like yours, and there never will be. And I am dying to read yours. Thank you so much.